It was a stormy night, with heavy rain pouring down relentlessly. The wind howled outside, rattling the windows and sending chills down the spines of anyone who dared to venture out. In a small town nestled deep in the countryside, a group of friends decided to gather at an old, abandoned house rumored to be haunted. As the rain intensified, they made their way through the muddy paths leading to the eerie house. Thunder roared in the distance, adding to the atmosphere of dread. The door creaked open ominously as they entered, and the interior was shrouded in darkness, save for the flickering light of their flashlights. They explored the decrepit rooms, their footsteps echoing through the empty halls. The rain drummed relentlessly on the roof, creating an eerie symphony that drowned out their nervous laughter. But as they ventured further into the house, strange things began to happen. One by one, their flashlights flickered and died, leaving them in complete darkness. Their hearts raced as they fumbled for their phones, only to discover that there was no signal. Panic started to set in as they realized they were trapped in the haunted house with no means of communication. Whispers seemed to float through the air as if the house itself was speaking to them. Shadows danced in the corners of their vision, and cold drafts brushed against their skin. They stumbled upon a room with old photographs hanging on the walls, each depicting a different family, their faces twisted in horror. As they frantically tried to find an exit, a sudden chill ran down their spines. The whispers grew louder, filled with malevolence and a sense of impending doom. They huddled together, their fear palpable in the air, when suddenly, a blood-curdling scream pierced the silence. One of their friends had disappeared. They searched the house, calling out his name, but he was nowhere to be found. The rain continued to pour, its intensity matching the fear that gripped their hearts. Finally, they stumbled upon a hidden room in the basement, filled with dark symbols and strange artifacts. They realized that they had unknowingly trespassed into a place of unspeakable evil. Desperate to escape, they made a horrifying discovery. The house itself was alive, feeding on their fear and trapping them within its walls. With each passing minute, their sanity slipped away. Whispers turned into sinister laughter, and the rain outside grew heavier as if the heavens themselves were mourning their impending doom. As the night wore on, they became mere pawns in the house's sadistic game. To this day, the town locals warn of the haunted house that devours souls on stormy nights, a place forever cursed by the relentless rain that falls upon its roof. Those who dare to venture near it can still hear the echoes of their friends' terrified screams, forever trapped in that house of horrors. Remember, this is just a fictional story meant to send chills down your spine. Don't let your imagination run wild on stormy nights, and be cautious of the places you choose to explore. Story number 2. The rain poured relentlessly on a stormy night, drenching everything in its path. Sarah, a young woman living alone in an old house, found solace in the rhythmic sound of raindrops against her window. However, this night was different. As the storm intensified, Sarah began to hear strange noises coming from the attic. Creaks and whispers echoed through the house, sending shivers down her spine. She dismissed it as her imagination, but the unsettling feeling persisted. Unable to ignore her curiosity any longer, Sarah decided to investigate. Armed with a flashlight, she cautiously climbed up to the attic. The rain continued to beat against the roof, creating an eerie symphony of sound. As Sarah reached the top of the stairs, the light from her flashlight flickered, casting eerie shadows on the walls. She scanned the attic, revealing dusty boxes and forgotten memories. But something caught her eye, a pair of glowing eyes peering out from the darkness. Startled, Sarah stumbled backward, dropping her flashlight. She fumbled in the darkness, desperately trying to retrieve it. When she finally managed to switch it back on, she was met with an empty attic. The glowing eyes had vanished. Shaken but determined, Sarah continued her search. She noticed a stack of old journals in the corner of the room. Intrigued, she picked one up and started flipping through its pages. The entries spoke of a previous owner's descent into madness, describing horrifying nightmares and strange occurrences during stormy nights. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew open the attic window, sending a chill through the room. Sarah's heart raced as she felt a presence behind her. She turned around slowly, only to find an ethereal figure standing in the shadows. The figure was a woman, her long, tangled hair dripping with rainwater. Her eyes gleamed with an otherworldly light. Sarah could sense the despair and longing emanating from her. In a soft, haunting voice, the ghostly woman spoke, recounting her tragic tale. She had been a resident of the house many years ago, and had suffered a terrible fate during a stormy night much like this one. Her restless spirit had been trapped within the house, seeking release. As the rain continued to pour, Sarah realized she had stumbled upon a forgotten secret that bound the spirit to the house. Determined to help, she followed the ghost's guidance and unraveled the mystery surrounding her death. Through her bravery and perseverance, Sarah managed to release the tormented spirit, allowing her to find peace at last. The storm began to subside, and the rain transformed into a gentle drizzle as if nature itself had acknowledged the resolution of the haunting. From that night forward, Sarah's house became a sanctuary, no longer plagued by eerie whispers or unexplained phenomena. And as for Sarah, she had a newfound appreciation for the power of the rain, knowing that sometimes, even in the darkest of nights, it can wash away the ghosts of the past. It was a dark and stormy night. The rain poured down in torrents, creating a symphony of deafening sounds as it drummed against the windows. Amara, a young woman who lived alone in an old Victorian house, sat by the fireplace, trying to find comfort in the warmth of the crackling flames. As the wind howled outside, Amara couldn't shake off the feeling of being watched. Now and then, she thought she caught a glimpse of movement in the shadows, but when she looked closer, there was nothing there. She attributed it to her imagination running wild, trying to frighten her on this eerie night. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed through the house. Amara jumped in her seat, her heart racing. She cautiously made her way toward the source of the noise, her footsteps muffled by the sound of the relentless rain. As she reached the hallway, she noticed the front door wide open, allowing the rain to cascade inside. Fear crept up Amara's spine, and she hesitated for a moment. Should she investigate or call the police? Before she could decide, a chilling gust of wind blew through the open door, extinguishing all the lights in the house. Amara stood frozen in darkness, her heart pounding in her chest. As she fumbled for her phone in the pitch-black hallway, Amara heard whispers emanating from the shadows. The voices were hushed, barely audible, but their sinister tones sent shivers down her spine. Panicked, she managed to find her phone and turned on the flashlight. The beam of light revealed a trail of muddy footprints leading from the open door up the stairs. Amara's breath hitched, and she followed the prints, her flashlight trembling in her trembling hand. Each step felt heavier than the last as she ascended the creaky staircase. Reaching the top, Amara's flashlight illuminated her bedroom door, which stood slightly ajar. She pushed it open, her heart pounding in her ears. The room was in disarray, furniture overturned, and rainwater seeping in through the broken window. But there was something more sinister. As Amara scanned the room, her gaze locked onto a figure standing in the corner, barely visible in the dim light. It was a pale, gaunt man, drenched in rainwater, with wild, bloodshot eyes staring directly at her. The man's lips curled into a malevolent smile, revealing rows of sharp, yellow teeth. Frozen with terror, Amara watched as the man slowly approached her, his steps deliberate and calculated. She stumbled backward, her voice caught in her throat, unable to scream for help. Just as the man lunged toward her, A bolt of lightning illuminated the room, revealing his twisted features in all their horrifying glory. And then, as quickly as it had come, the man vanished into thin air. The room fell silent, save for the sound of the rain outside. Amara stood trembling, unsure if what she had witnessed was real or a figment of her imagination. To this day, Amara is haunted by the memory of that rainy night. She moved away from the old Victorian house, never able to erase the chilling image of the man with the twisted smile from her mind. And whenever it rains, she can't help but feel a sense of unease, a constant reminder of that fateful night.